Fantasy, romance, and characters so overpowered they could solo entire universes while still managing a love life. Today we're ranking 10 anime that give us broken powers mixed with unforgettable bonds. Grab your snacks, we're going in. Number 10, The Ancient Magus' Bride. Now this one is not your typical MC punches God in the face anime. The Ancient Magus' Bride is gothic romance at its core, featuring Elias Ainsworth, the mysterious skull-headed mage who looks like he belongs in a Tim Burton film. Chise, the heroine, gets literally bought at an auction. Yeah, that's a questionable start. But their relationship evolves into something strangely tender and heartfelt. The fantasy element? Pure magic. Fairies, dragons, ancient spells, you name it. And Elias himself? Way too overpowered for someone who can't even explain if he's human, demon, or eldritch beast. He saves Cheese countless times, but the real magic is watching them both grow emotionally. The romance here is slow burn, haunting, and weirdly wholesome for a guy who looks like a walking Halloween decoration. It's less about epic battles and more about a love story stitched together with otherworldly mystery. If you want fantasy romance with vibes darker than your ex's playlist, this one's for you. Number 9. How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Here's the twist. Our hero Kazuya isn't flexing magic swords or one-shotting dragons. Instead, his superpower is being a political nerd. That's right, he gets isekai'd, becomes king, and saves the kingdom using economics and management skills. Sounds boring, right? Wrong. Watching Kazuya break down trade systems and apply modern-day policies in a medieval world is unexpectedly thrilling. Who knew spreadsheets could be overpowered? And let's not forget Lycia, the princess who becomes his fiancée. Their romance actually feels healthy. They support and challenge each other rather than falling into the cliché save the princess trope. Kazuya doesn't just fight for her, he builds a future with her. Respect. This anime proves that brains can be just as OP as brawn. No flashy explosions, just solid leadership and kingdom building that somehow turns into must-watch TV. Honestly, I'd pay to see him run my country. If you ever thought politics couldn't be hype, this anime slaps that thought right out of your head. Number 8. Campione. If you woke up one day and suddenly had the power to kill gods and steal their powers, what would you do? Probably panic. But Godu in Campione just rolls with it. Dude goes from regular high schooler to god-slaying demigod overnight, casually flexing stolen divine abilities like their Pokemon cards. And the romance? Wild. Erika, the fiery heroine, wastes zero time claiming him as hers. Forget shy blushes. This girl's like, yup, you're my man. And honestly, she carries the series with her chaotic energy. Their chemistry? Explosive, both literally and emotionally. Yes, the anime sometimes feels like mythology fan fiction gone rogue, random gods, random powers, constant harem chaos, but that's part of its charm. Watching Godu balance epic fights and romantic entanglements is entertaining chaos. The battles are flashy, the romance is spicy, and the MC is so OP it feels like the gods should just give up already. If you want mythological romance with absurd power levels, Campione is your guilty pleasure. Number 7. Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious. Seiya is not just overpowered, he's ridiculously paranoid. This man doesn't just grind, he overgrinds. Faced with a slime, he nukes it. Victory? He double-checks with another nuke. He stockpiles potions like he's prepping for the apocalypse. Honestly, Seiya is the anime version of that friend who brings 5 charges just in case. Ristarte, the bubbly goddess, is his unlucky partner, and their dynamic is comedy gold. She's over-the-top emotional, while Seiya treats everything like a military operation. But under the laughs, the show sneaks in genuine depth. Seiya's caution ties to past trauma, and suddenly you're wiping tears between jokes. Romance here is subtle but powerful. Their bond develops from annoyance into something meaningful, layered with respect and vulnerability. The show balances over-the-top comedy with heartbreaking twists, proving OP heroes don't have to be shallow. Seiya may be insufferable to travel with, but as a character, he's unforgettable. If trust issues were a superpower, Seiya would be unbeatable. Number 6. Seirei Gensuki, Spirit Chronicles. Here we've got Haruto, who dies in modern Japan and gets reincarnated as Ryo in another world, keeping both his new body and old memories. That's like playing New Game Plus with emotional baggage included. From the start, Ryo is disgustingly powerful. He learns magic insanely fast, slices through enemies with ease, and casually dismantles villains who underestimate him. But the romance? It's not fluffy. It's a slow burn with emotional weight. Ryo carries scars from his past and hesitates to trust, making every connection feel earned. When love sneaks in, it's layered with healing, growth, and vulnerability. It's less about "you're cute" and more about "you see the real me." That's rare in isekai. And the villains? Pure scum. The kind of nobles who make you yell at the screen until Ryo finally obliterates them. Every fight feels like justice served hot. This series isn't as popular as it should be, but if you're craving romance wrapped in gritty revenge fantasy, Spirit Chronicles delivers. Number 5. Tsukimichi, Moonlit Fantasy. Makoto gets isekai'd, and instead of divine blessings, the goddess roasts him. "You're ugly." Get lost. Savage. But while she's busy laughing, Makoto casually becomes one of the strongest beings in the world. Jokes on her. Makoto's power is absurd. He makes contracts with legendary beings, blasts through monsters, and builds his own community. And while his appearance is hype, the comedy is even better. His companions Tomei and Mio? Absolute waifu chaos. One's a dragon samurai, the other's a spider monster, and both are hopelessly in love with him. Their constant rivalry for his affection is both hilarious and oddly wholesome. Romance here is messy but fun. It's about bonds, loyalty, and building connections despite a terrible start. The goddess might have tossed him aside, but Makoto proves he doesn't need divine approval to thrive. If you love isekai that flips cliches, roasts tropes, and still gives you heartfelt relationships, Moonlit Fantasy is peak chaotic entertainment. Number 4. Jobless Reincarnation, Mushoku Tensei. This one is legendary. Mushoku Tensei isn't just another isekai. It's the blueprint that inspired the genre's modern boom. Rudy, a washed-up NEET in his past life, reincarnates in a magical world with all his memories intact. Sounds gross at first, and yeah, Rudy's early behavior is problematic, but his growth is unmatched. The romance here is heart-melting. Rudy's bond with Sylphie feels genuine, developing from childhood friendship into deep love. It's not instant, it's messy, awkward, and beautifully human. Watching Rudy mature and learn to respect someone beyond himself is one of the most rewarding arcs in the series. Magic-wise, Rudy is insane. He bends the elements like clay, fights demons, and pulls stunts that make even gods nervous. But it's not just about flexing. His powers serve the story of a flawed man trying to become better. If you can handle his rough start, you're rewarded with a fantasy romance epic that hits harder than most anime out there. Number 3. The world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat. This anime wins the award for longest title ever, but the story? Worth it. Lug Tuatha, the world's greatest assassin, gets reincarnated with one mission: stop a future catastrophe. Unlike most isekai MCs, Lug's strength isn't raw power, it's his brains, training, and tactical brilliance. He's like Batman if Batman had cheat magic. But the romance? Absolute chef-level quality. Dia, his partner and love interest, is not just a side character, she's central to his journey. Their relationship feels mature, grounded, and heartbreakingly sweet. Every scene they share makes his deadly missions more meaningful because he's fighting for someone, not just for power. The action is brutal yet precise, with Lug using strategy instead of dumb luck. It's refreshing to see an OP protagonist win through intelligence and emotion instead of just nuking enemies. Combine romance that feels real with assassin drama and fantasy politics, and you've got one of the most underrated gems on this list. Number 2. Sword Art Online. Oh yes, the anime that split the fandom in half. Sword Art Online gave us Kirito, the original OP isekai gamer boy. Dude dual wields like nobody else, solos raid bosses, and tanks death flags with plot armor thicker than a bank vault. He's loved, hated, and memed, but you can't deny his impact. Romance-wise, it's iconic. Kirito and Asuna aren't just another anime couple, they're the couple. From slaying bosses together to adopting Yui in a digital forest, their love story became one of anime's most recognizable romances. And honestly, it works. Their bond feels natural, balanced, and enduring through all the chaos. Sure, SAO has messy arcs, we don't talk about Alfheim, but when Kirito pulls out those dual blades, anime history gets made. The romance grounds his ridiculous power, reminding us why he fights. Whether you roast it or praise it, SAO is the blueprint for OP fantasy romance, and it earns this spot. Number 1, that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Rimuru Tempest. The slime who started from literal goo and rose to become a nation-building god. Talk about a glow-up. Rimuru is beyond OP, absorbing abilities, evolving endlessly and casually wiping out armies when needed. If he sneezed too hard, the multiverse would probably collapse. But what makes Rimuru special isn't just his insane power, it's his heart. His relationships with allies like Shizu, Milim, and Shion are packed with warmth, loyalty, and subtle romance. Rimuru's compassion balances his broken abilities, making him not just a powerhouse, but a leader people genuinely love. His bonds are more emotional than physical romance, but they're powerful enough to anchor the entire series. Plus, the comedy is gold. Rimuru's reactions to god-tier powers while still remembering he used to be a regular office worker keep things hilarious. Epic fights, political intrigue, heartwarming bonds. It's the perfect blend. That's why Slime easily claims the top spot for fantasy romance with an OP main character. And there you have it. 10 fantasy romance anime where love meets absolute power. Sometimes sweet, sometimes chaotic, always unforgettable. Which couple or character grabbed your heart? Let me know in the comments below. Smash that like button, subscribe for more anime breakdowns, and keep the watch list stacked. Until next time, stay legendary and stay laughing.